All right, let's talk about speed. We're about to go on a pretty wild journey, starting with, well, you. And by the end, we're going to be moving at speeds that are just almost impossible to wrap your head around. Okay, let's get into it.
So, let me just ask you this straight up. How do you measure up? We all kind of feel like we know what fast is, right? But when you start putting actual numbers to it, everything changes. Today is all about finding out where we stand on the universe's speedometer.
And here it is, our starting point, 1.4 meters per second. Now I know, that doesn't sound like much, does it? But this is the average speed of a person just walking. And trust me, this number is our anchor. It's the baseline for everything that's coming next.
To put that into perspective, it's about 5 kilometers an hour. A nice, comfortable stroll you could probably keep up for a while. For our trip today, this is ground zero. Everything else we look at, we're going to compare it right back to this simple, everyday pace. So before we speed up, let's have a little fun and look in the other direction. We're going to glance down the speedometer for a second and see how we stack up against some of nature's most, well, famously slow creatures. The snail? Wow, it really lives up to its reputation. At just 1.5 millimeters per second, it's a staggering 1,000 times slower than you are when you're just walking. Think about that. 1,000 times slower. And just look at this graph. It tells the whole story, doesn't it? Our bar, representing our casual walk, just completely dwarfs the snail's. I mean, its bar is so tiny you can barely even see it. This just shows you how huge the spectrum of speed really is, even at the super slow end. So what about the other classic symbol of slowness, the tortoise? Well, compared to a snail, it's practically a speed demon, right? It covers 70 meters in an hour. But compared to you, yeah, you're still moving about 70 times faster. It's not even a contest. All right, enough feeling like Usain Bolt. Let's flip the script and look up the speedometer. Let's see how our walking pace really stacks up against the rest of the animal kingdom. In nature's big race, we get left in the dust, and fast. A common housefly zips right past us at 5 meters per second. You'd need a pair of skis to even think about keeping up. A hare? Now it's hitting 18 meters per second. And an eagle, just cruising up there, 24 meters per second. It's in a completely different league. But this is where the story takes a huge turn, because what we don't have in biological speed, we have more than made up for with our ingenuity. Let's look at how our machines didn't just help us compete. They created a whole new race. And for these speeds, yeah, we're going to need a bigger unit of measurement. And here we go, climbing the ladder of speed, now in kilometers per hour. We start on the water with the hydrofoil ship at 58. Then, on land, a ZIL 111 car triples that to 180. We take to the air. A Tu-104 jet pushes it to 800. Then we absolutely shatter the sound barrier with a supersonic jet at 2,000. And finally, we leave the planet with the Sputnik rocket, hitting nearly 29,000 kilometers per hour. The scale has just completely exploded. And this quote really helps put that massive jump into perspective. For a long, long time, the sound barrier felt like an actual physical limit. You know, this huge challenge that engineers and pilots were obsessed with breaking. And this is it, the speed of sound, about 1,200 kilometers per hour. Breaking this barrier was a massive moment in human history. And today, as we just saw, our supersonic jets can fly at almost twice this speed. Just incredible. But flying through the air, even faster than sound, has its limits. To really get into some mind-bending speeds, you have to leave the atmosphere behind, completely. The fastest vehicles we have ever built are designed for one thing: space. So this number is really important, 11.2 kilometers per second. This is what's known as escape velocity. It's the speed an object needs to just completely break free from Earth's gravity and never, ever fall back down. Not just to orbit, but to leave, for good. And that right there is the pinnacle of our achievement. It's the highest speed we have ever deliberately given to an object to send it away from our home world. It really feels like the ultimate speed, doesn't it? But it's not. What about this? 30 kilometers per second. That is nearly 3 times faster than escaped velocity. It's a speed so huge it just dwarfs everything we've talked about so far. So what on earth could possibly be moving this fast? You are, right now. That is the speed our entire planet is traveling as it orbits the sun. So even when you're sitting perfectly still, you are hurtling through space at 30 kilometers every single second. So the next time someone asks you what you're up to, you can honestly say you're traveling at over 100,000 kilometers per hour. Which brings us all the way back to our first question, but with a brand new twist. How fast are you really going?